First stop of the day, headed to my local lumber yard to get some drill bits for that metal roof. It is 7:03, so they just opened up. I buy a lot of materials from this place, have for many years. Alright, so here's the house. We had a subcontractor tear all the roof off and get it back in the dry with synthetic felt. So we're set up really nicely there. No lath this time. Special K's already up here since I had to stop and get those bits this morning, but should turn out pretty good. It's going to be a big one. I think 4 valleys, so not terrible, but should be a good one. Panels, trims. Okay, so thankfully we had a tractor to unload this for us. Got forks on it, and so here's our trims in a separate stack from our actual panels, so that's a big help for us. So right now, very first step for us, we unpackaged the drip edge, and it is different than most drip edge we've seen from different metal manufacturers. This part right here specifically, this huge overhang, I've never seen one with that big of an overhang before, and this drop down piece right here is a little wider than I like it. Not typically that long. It's usually, I don't know if that's what, 2 inches, but usually it's about 1.5 inches, so I'm not real sure what's up with that. But this overhang it's massive. I do not like that. Another thing I don't like, and I understand why they do it, to prevent you from scratching the paint, but they put this plastic on here. And if you've ever tried to peel the plastic off of your new refrigerator, that's pretty much what it's like, and it's a total pain in the butt. I don't know why just wrapping in that wouldn't be good enough. I guess they've had issues with it scratching in the past. But anyways, our first step is with this drip edge right here. So like I said, we've got our metal, we've got our trims right here pretty close to the house. As I mentioned previously, we do have all the shingles torn off, so we don't have to worry about lathing it or anything like that. I've got 4 sawhorses here. This is critical because we've got long sheets of metal, so we'll set up all 4 sawhorses. We'll set up the metal on the horses. We like to pre-drill our metal. I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. Got a couple accessory horses for cutting and trimming our accessories, like Special K's fixing to do over there. Take you in the trailer here. I will use, well, I can't find it. Here it is. This is what I'll use down low just for fastening the bottom row of screws. Nice and lightweight. I can just clip that right here on my pants pocket. Nice and easy. And then on the other side, I've got the new Joey pouch from holstery.com. If you don't know about Holstery, check them out. This will fit a lot of screws in that little pouch, and it's nice and lightweight. Perfect application for me. Picked up these drill bits this morning, as you've seen. Got our list of metal here. A couple essential tools that you need when you're going to be installing metal. An electric drill. This sucker spins really fast. I like to use a cordless drill when I can, but on a big 50 square roof like this, we use an electric one because you're just going to eat up batteries. So we pre-drill all our metal. That's a preference thing. You can punch it if you like. Another thing we use is a nibbler. Worst mistake in the world we could have ever done is bought one that has a cord on it. We have had this one in service for 10, 15 years now, and it has never failed us. We have replaced the die and punch probably 3 times, 4 times, something like that. But anyways, I've got batteries charging up right now. We still have a few Makitas, but we're kind of phasing those out. We're going more flex. We like the flex stuff. Got a little Bosch battery charging up. So yeah, let's get into it. Start doing a little roofing. Okay, so what we're doing right here is we are clipping a little angle off of our drip edge so that it will accept the next piece. It'll slide into it better. And I'll show you what I mean in the next segment here. You'll see how this works very well. I got it. I know it. So I'm on a 7-foot step ladder. Special K's on a 6-foot. We have 2 of these, but we forgot to bring the other one today, so that's why he's on the short one there. All right, so here's that trim detail I was talking about, if you can see it. We've got that angle there, we got that angle here. Now look how easy. Oh, also we kind of spread this. So we take a little knife and stick in there, kind of spreads that. But look how easy this goes on. Just like so. Now we're gonna stop right about, come just a little bit further this way, right there, and see how that ties the 2 drip edges together. See, now we've made it one. I'm gonna tack it. Now for this, you know, you could use an air nailer, you could use a roofing nailer, but it's not like you have to put a ton of nails in this, because the roof panels are going to come down on top of this, and we're going to be putting roof screws through this. So it's going to hold no problem. We're not really worried about that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 nails, roof nails, in that one 10-foot stick. We'll do the same on this stick. You good?
Don't know.
You trying to eyeball it? We're trying to run this kind of straight. Fascias are rarely ever straight, especially on these old homes.
Let's see what you think about it.
So yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I'd tack it right there. So he's tacking it. I'm gonna put another one in there. There we are. Well, Special K went and brought the other trims, and he's already got it pre-cut. As you can see, before we installed this one, we already had that cut. So he's already got that in cut. So it's just kind of like just a process that you do, you know, you kind of get a rhythm and you just keep going with it. So I'm gonna start this in here. There we go. All right, come right there. All right, so yeah, there we go again. We're together right there, no problem. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tack it. There we go. All right, you wanna eyeball it there? Man, it looks pretty good to me. Nice and straight. I'll let you go ahead and put yours on. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and put one right here. Now, we have to nail high on this because the decking is way up here and we've got a small gap behind the fascia where the sub fascia is at, so that's why we're nailing high on this. Typically wouldn't do that, but kind of have to on this, have no choice. All right, one more piece and we're finished on this section back here. So something that we like to set up on jobs is this quick trash can apparatus. Got this plastic liner, and that way we can throw any nails that we find on the ground or on the roof from where they pulled the shingles. Just toss them in there, quick and easy. Keep all of our trash in one spot. Easier cleaning up at the end of the day. $204, that's what we're looking for. Yeah. $204. So here's our stack of metal. You can see we've got quite a few different lengths here. We're looking for 204 inches.
Right here. See, this may have slid. I don't know if it did or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay.
You know it ain't that stuff.
Here, you walk straight backwards. Let's just get it out all the way out of the way. Let's get it way far out of the way.
That's good.
Fine with me.
See, we're going to have to get into the valleys and find. Let's sit in front of it.
Right.
Step over your
Yep.
trim.
Keep going. All right, yeah, we need 9 of those.
I don't know how many I got, but I ain't got 9.
Okay.
It feels like about 3.
Feels like 3 to me. Okay, so very important here. What he's doing is he is straightening our sheets. We want these all as perfectly even as we can. You can slide that way, then he'll come back down on this end and he'll tap these into place. Let's see how close he is down here. Yep, got to come back a little bit. So we want to get those as perfectly even as we can. Once that happens, we can start pre-drilling our holes. Okay, so now that we've got all of our metal straightened up, got our clamps on, we've got it all marked now as well. Now, manufacturer instructions, they're gonna tell you go like every 24 inches or something like that. I don't pay a ton of attention to that because we really don't have metal ever blow off, so we're not too worried about that. We want to fasten it how we think it makes sense. Now, these panels are 204 inches. Our bottom screw we're going to put at 4 inches up. Then we're skipping and we're going 40 inches every screw. So every fastener will be every 40 inches. So we like to stay somewhere around 36 inches, give or take. And that's where we're at right now with our fastening pattern. We think that's what will look best. Remember, this is an exposed fastener metal roof. The more holes you put in that roof, the more likelihood for a leak. We don't like that, but we also don't want the metal to blow off. Every 40 inches will be just fine. We've done it before. The bottom. This is something that we started way too late. A lot of roofs we did not do that, but the manufacturer instructions does tell you to do this, and ever since we've implemented it, we have seen the benefits. We double screw the bottom. So where your screw should go is your small rib. That's what we call the small rib. It's a little bit smaller over here. This is your big rib. The small rib laps on top of the big rib. Now, a lot of controversy here. Some guys, for whatever reason, think that the screw goes here. I've had so many guys tell me that the screw goes here. That is absolutely incorrect. Read your manufacturer's instructions. The screw goes right next to the lap because it holds down that lap on top of this rib. Does that make sense? You want this to be held down snug where it's going to lap over the top of this, okay? Now at the bottom, because when you're looking up at the metal, they want that nice and tight and a little bit more wind resistance, because if the metal's going to catch and blow off, where is it going to start? It's not going to start up there, not going to start halfway down, it's going to start at the bottom. That's the reason for double fasteners in the bottom. So we go where we typically fasten, right next to our small rib. Then in that same flat panel, we put a fastener on this side, and we'll follow that pattern all the way across on the bottom. On this whole roof, we'll do that. So he'll have double fasteners at the bottom. Now, another thing that we use 1-inch screws. I'll get into that here in a minute. Okay, so our metal is pre-drilled. I'm up here on the roof. This is the most critical part of the entire metal installation, in my opinion. If you're going to pay attention to any of this, pay attention to this part. One thing's for certain, the fascia ain't straight and the rake ain't straight. You gotta pick one, because you can't have both. Which one do you see the most? Yes, you see the rake, but how long is that rake? You know, 16 foot, well, it's 204 inches, right? That's including our overhang. The fascia is way longer than that. You're gonna see the fascia as you walk around the house. You're gonna look up and you're gonna see what's overhanging the drip edge. That's what everyone looks at. You might see a little bit of crookedness on the rake, but you have to accept that. This is exposed fastener metal roofing. You have to accept that. You can't have a straight rake and a straight fascia. Now, we hope it's as straight as possible, but we know that none of them are perfect. So this is how we address that issue. I've got a mark right here. This mark is 5 inches. Now that includes my 1.5 overhang. You can make this mark whatever you want. If you want to go up here, you can put it up here. It doesn't matter. We're just going to use 5 inches, okay? Because we want to stay on this drip edge. That's the reason we're doing that. We know that this drip edge is relatively straight, right? And we want to stay straight with the drip edge. We've established that. So, got a tick mark at 5 inches. Our overhang for our metal is 1.5 inches. That's what we like. Now, some guys will go 1 inch, some will go 2. We like 1.5 inches. So with our 1.5 inch overhang, we're at a 5 inch tick mark. Now, what Special K is going to do is he's going to go down there and he's going to mark a tick mark at 5 inches as well, with an 1.5 inch overhanging the edge of the drip. So really, if he wanted to, he could just pull this tape up, and what do we got here? 3.5 inches. So he can really just pull the tape and mark at 3.5 inches from the drip edge. When you hang down an 1.5 inches, see 1.5 inches, you're at 5 on the tick mark, okay? Once he marks that tick mark down there, we're gonna pull a chalk line. I'm gonna get on my tick mark, he's gonna get on his, and we're gonna pop that line. That line is how we're gonna keep that metal straight. Every single piece that I get off that stack and hand up, I'm going to mark a tick mark at 5 inches on the metal. Now this first side, I'll mark it on both sides so that I can straighten it up. But when we line that mark up with our chalk line, every mark that I mark on that, if we do that properly, it will come up string straight on that drip edge. And that is our goal. We want it to stay string straight down here. So that's what we're doing right here. We're gonna go down there, we're gonna get on that tick mark. He's already marked it. I need some. Okay. I'm just gonna hook mine. Get mine relatively straight right there. I feel good about it. I can pop it too. I'm gonna double check it. I always like to double check. Yes, I'm right on the money. Say when. There we go. Okay. Now, we have established our string line. You can see it's pretty straight with our drip edge. You can see this reveal. See how much is left over here? You can sit there and eyeball that down through there, and it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. So, this first sheet of metal, I got to go down there, and on the bottom side of it, I got to pull a tape up the metal, mark it at 5 on this side, mark it at 5 on this side, line up those marks, make sure we're where we want to be, fasten it down, and just repeat the process over and over again. That's the key. So this is the Holstry Joey pouch. I like it because it's so small and compact, and if I need to, I can cinch it up. I did a little video on this, initial thoughts, and so far I'm really liking it. Now, I did forget my belt today, but I have found out that I can just strap that thing right on the top of my pants. I don't even need a belt, so pretty awesome. Screw gun, I gotta find it. Where'd that screw gun go? I don't know where I put it. Typical. There it is, right there. All right, I like this little Bosch. This is the Chameleon Bosch. So it's got all these different multi-heads that you can put on there. I like it because it's so lightweight. Got a lot of torque too for a 12 volt. So I like to clip that on nice and lightweight. Here's our screws. Okay, let me talk to you about the screws for a second. These are a 1-inch roofing screw. The reason we like the 1-inch is because, think about it, you're going through a thin 29 gauge sheet of metal through 3/4 of decking. Why would you need an 1.5-inch screw? I do not understand why. A lot of times they'll send 1.5-inch screws because about half that fastener is going to stick out into the attic if you use 1.5-inches. 1 inch is more than enough for this application. So I'm just going to load up with a few fasteners there. I really don't need that many because I'm just fastening the bottom. There we go. Okay, so here's my first sheet of metal, and once again, this is the bottom. That's signified or identified by the double screw pattern. So I'm going to take my tape measure, and this is what I'm talking about on that tick mark. I'm going to take my tape, and I want it where I can see it really well. So 5 inches. 5-inch tick mark right here on the edge. Now, because this is my first piece, I'm gonna come around here and I'll mark a 5-inch tick mark on this one as well. And that will get us hopefully pretty straight. There's always some adjusting that's needed, but sometimes it just stays straight the whole way. Just depends. So there we are. That sheet is ready to be installed. Okay, so this is typically how I pick up the sheet. I think everybody probably does it differently, but I don't like scratching the paint. So I come to about the middle and I just pick straight up. Just like that. And then I just throw it over my shoulder. Actually, I like to throw it on my head. I know where the bottom's at, so I just need to pass this straight up. Now he's gonna grab it and I'm gonna rest mine on the ground. Then I'm gonna come around and I'll pick up the bottom and help him as he drags it up. Very easy. Okay. All right, we got our tick marks. This is where we've got to try to get it straight. Right there, I'm on my tick mark over here. Probably need to come over to the edge, huh? That looks pretty good on the edge. Now let me look at my other tick mark, see where I'm at. Okay, if I want to stay out there at the edge, you've got to move yours that way because I got to drop this tick mark. More, a little more, a little more. Right there. Let me check it again. Yep, I'm right on the tick mark out here. It's perfect. Can you hold it tight while I screw it? I'm gonna double check my tick mark again, probably triple check it. I'm on the money right there. I might come up just a hair right there. That's it. All right, I'm gonna put my first fastener in. And I was on speed 1. I don't like it. All right, so I'm still good on my tick mark there. Need to come down some on this tick mark. Keep coming. Right there. Ho. Okay, put my second fastener in. Money. You're good to fasten yours if you want. Now it is important to fasten these to where the washer squashes, but you don't want to completely destroy the washer. That will cause that washer to prematurely wear. So you want to just put it in until it snugs up and barely squishes that washer. There we are. There we go. Okay, so the bottom's fastened, the top's fastened. Next up, I'll just have to, from here on out, I think we got 8 more sheets for this side until we hit the valley. We're gonna stop at the valley. 8 more sheets, and we'll hit that tick mark on one side. It'll be the other side, because I just lined this side, which will be the small rib, up with the bottom of the sheet. That's why you don't need a tick mark on both sides all the way through, just on the left side. Me too. Yep, I will.
You want to go move that ladder?
Sure.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep. All right, come on up. Oh, you're up good. Try not to rub off your mark.
I would never do that.
Well,
I would never.
you have been.
Okay, here we go again.
Here we go.
What I want to do is I want to line this up, but before I actually put the fastener in, I always like to check over here. And we are off. See how our tick mark is lower than the blue mark? So this is what we're going to do. We got to shimmy that way at the top. Okay, I'll go ahead and put this one in because we want to stay straight. Like get that nice and flat. Now, what he's gonna do is he's gonna pull. We're gonna try to stretch this metal. I need to go over some more. A little more. Whoa, right there. Okay, see how I'm right on my tick mark? I'm gonna go ahead. Now, I'm gonna fasten this entire bottom row. Then he can stretch his back out. So what he did was he just put one in there to hold this tight. Once this is screwed in, he can do whatever he wants up there because this is not going to move down here. As long as we keep those tick marks, that 5-inch mark on that chalk line, this is going to come up straight as a string. And that is the key. To me, it's the most important step. Okay, last fastener. All right, now see that bubble he's pushing in that? So he's gonna stretch that. He's gonna try to basically, yeah, compress it. See how it just lays right down like that? As long as we stay straight with that tick mark, I just can't emphasize that enough. Once you get done, if that tick mark is on that blue line the whole way, when you get down and you look at the eave, this will look so straight, and it is an amazing thing that happens. It really is. Okay, so while he's... I gotta move that ladder. It is in my way. money. Right on the money.
Good.
Okay, so first sheet we lined it up. Second sheet it was off, if you'll recall. We had to bring that top down to meet up with our mark. We're on the third sheet right now. I came up, I evened it up, I look over here at my mark, and we're dead set on the money. So now we can just keep running. I don't know why it does that sometimes, but sometimes it just gets out of whack and you gotta stretch it back into place. But as soon as I pulled this up even, I looked over and sure enough, tick marks right on the money. So that's a good thing.
Four fish special. Somewhere in there.
Right there. Hold it. Tick mark. Okay, I'm barely high. Barely high. Come on down just a hair. Whoa. Right there's pretty good. I'm gonna accept that.
I don't know what's going on, but we're gaining on his gap up here.
Probably cut crooked as crap. Probably ain't never heard of a chalk box. Yeah, I gotta come down again. More. A little more. Let's do it. I tell you, I've hit nice and solid every single screw.
So far, I haven't missed with that one. I guess it was a knot hole or something.
I mean, when you're dealing with decking, you can only expect that.
That's right.
Did that work pretty good with the nut driver?
Yes, real good.
Good.
No, I'm not worried about that screw at all.
Tightened right up, didn't it?
Yep. Well, I can see if I'd have done it with this thing though.
Yeah. Yep, I hear you. Okay.